What do you do with beauty and courage in a corrupt system that just wants you to be an autocorrect robot on some kind of mood medication, synthetic computer synthesis of disassociation is a lifestyle preference. Snuggled safely into academics, stuffy boredom, and mental, morgue of a idea rather than a reality. An idea programmed from somewhere else, probably some kind of Marxist cultural Tavistock program with your weaponized gender program that I grew up in, deconstructed identities, deconstructed families, and the Frankenstein identity problem of modernity. We're a long way from anywhere here in the ocean, and anything could happen to us, and we might not necessarily know that it's happening to us. Unless, of course, you got some kind of awareness around these things, like I think I do. It comes from early childhood fucking abuse. I know when I'm getting fucked over. And then, fucked over by the people who are rescuing you as well. Used again. I mean, it does pose the question about evil. Myth of love. It's just a vampire cannibal situation we're in here, spiritually speaking. I mean, how does anyone keep themselves safe? Yep, evil is quite a shadowy presence in our world. It winds itself inside your head and starts talking to you incessantly about the problem of itself. It's a wonderful thing to analyse and dissect, and evil, like the word love, or like the word God, or like the word art, quite interchangeable. I don't think you can actually work in the art domain as a human animal without actually doing diligence with the idea of evil. I'm not advocating it as a conscious meditation, or I'm not speaking of using it, but I am speaking of being aware of it, of observing the adversary. See, when we're speaking of art, we're talking about meaning making, we're talking about story, we're talking about purpose, place, we're talking about ritual, we're talking about altars, we're talking about the gods. And I don't really care if you think those things are true or not, or what your modern liberated scientific model of reality thinks about those things. That's actually what we are, and that's what we still are. These little devices that we carry are just altars, magic wands, this kind of thing. So art was designation of story. It might have been a battle. It might have been a triumph, propaganda of a king's battle over another king. You know, it might have been a fertility device. You know, it might have been something to charge the grain if you sang in a certain way and banged certain things. You know, maybe there was a form of, so all this is art, and the effigy of a, a fertility goddess was charged with the potency of that, the consciousness, like the consciousness can evoke what it focuses on. And so, art is a powerful meditation, and I still think that it has a resonance because we either create or we are created, and so the environmental political situation that I find myself in, that we find ourselves in, is simply the topography of the structures of making our own meaning systems. And for some reason I find the archaic and mythic very important. I think that's where the ancestors are. I think that's the dead world that we're actually still intimate with, being part of. And of course that dead world is acting through us eternally, intimately at the moment, with social breakdown, psychosis. No one's saying, to pretend it's not happening is fucking ridiculous. That's the pretense, isn't it? The emperor's new clothing of some kind of straitjacket of, irrational robotic, programmable body part, like in synthetic womb somewhere, liberate yourself from, actually having to be a human being, or the responsibility of having the bits you've got. For example, like I say, I think New Zealand's a little project country of some kind of kiddie fiddling mind control. It's been for some time, and we're too stupid to realise that that's been the case. Some canaries in the coal mine still go tweet, tweet, tweet. That's me, Although those fucking ravens in other countries, man, they're ugly suckers. Yeah, so the animals leave their droppings in the forest, and I don't know. Talk. Flipped open a book last night, The Creative Act, Way of Being. Get that book. And I read that book at someone's party, a few pages of it, a couple of years ago. And I'm like, fuck, that's a good book. He knows what he's on about. He's right. I know he's right. Talking about art and process and psyche and shit. And I opened one page last night. It was just like, really small wee passage. Said, your best work is what excites you. Eh? And I'm like, yeah, fuck, I don't need to read anything else in this book. Your best work is what excites you. Yeah. Well, it's fucking exciting, alright. Yeah. Happy days.